Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome into the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive director of First Shot. On this kind of chilly Monday, I get to bring in, man, you guys, this person did so much for me when I was going through a really rough time. And it is my honor to have Bud Morris on the show today. We're going to talk about the 43rd annual Salute to Veterans and Armed Forces. But before we do that, Bud, we were talking off air, and I think a lot of people don't understand everything that's gone on here through the history of Middle.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And again, tell us how we really ended up with our aerospace program here on our campus. It's probably one of the best aerospace programs in the country.
Yes, sir. It's certainly ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the country, and pretty soon the main body is going to move over to Shelbyville. And Pat Marr over in Shelbyville has certainly helped out in the legislature getting some money for the school. But they're going to build some buildings over there, hangars and that type of thing. And they'll have a lot more room over there. It'll be 18, 20 miles from here as opposed to being in town. But they're going to have room to maybe build an east-west runway. They already have a north-south runway. The Shelbyville has really embraced them, and they want the aerospace program to come over there.
Well, it's good for their economy, too.
Well, sure it is.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. And again, but tell us, after World War II, what happened on campus?
Well, during World War II, the Army Air Corps started an aviation program here at Middle Tennessee on the campus here, and they built some married student housing, some small cottages that were there when I started in '63. They had an east-west runway and a north-south runway made out of cinders. Back in those days, they burned coal for heat and everything, and they take the residual of that and cinders and grind it up and pave it down or push it down. And the north-south runway was still there when I started in '63. But anyway, after the war, the hangar that's still there was there, and it had a lot of engines and parts and stuff inside of it. And Miller Lanier checked with the president of the university and asked him if he could write a letter to the federal government to get that equipment. And everybody said yes. So he wrote the letter, and the government gave the university the hangar and then engines that were sitting around and airplane parts and whatnot, and that's what started the aviation program here at Middle Tennessee.
Bud, you also were saying off air that this area holds a lot of military personnel or former personnel. We've one of the larger schools of former military people are going to our school still to this day.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, the state of Tennessee was a volunteer state, and Davy Crockett went from bar to bar going west of Memphis to go to the Alamo, and that's what I guess started it. But Middle Tennessee, as I was growing up, and even today, has always been reasonably pro the military and supportive, and a lot of people join the military from this area. But at this point in time, there's about 1,000 students that are in the military or ex-military, retired or otherwise, that are going to school at Middle Tennessee. And at one time, if not now, there were more students going to Middle Tennessee than any other school in the state or every other school in the state combined. And so I don't know if that's still the case, but it's close to it. But there's over 1,000 students that are presently there. And I was going to say something about that. We have a stole ceremony now for the veterans, and that is going to be in December, I think. I have it here.
So you said the stole ceremony where they put around your neck? Yes.
I wasn't smart enough to get one of those things when I was here.
I believe me, you or I both didn't achieve that. But
I didn't achieve that at all. But I am a graduate. but anyway, on December the 11th at 10 a.m., they're going to have another stole ceremony for the graduating veterans, and that's held at the Miller Building, which is over by the old hospital, or where the old hospital was. And that'll be at 10 o'clock on December the 11th. They do this every semester, and the graduating retired or ex-military people receive this stole that they wear during the graduation ceremony.
It's phenomenal of how Middle has embraced our armed forces, and there's been a couple of you that have really pushed. You and Bob Lamb, probably one of your closest friends here in town, have started this 43rd annual salute, which is the longest running one in the country, non-military.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
So,
at a non-military school, it's the longest run at an athletic event in the country.
So you were a part of starting this. What was, but again, you had to have an idea of what you wanted to achieve with it, Bud. So
yes, sir.
What's the whole reason why you want to do this every year, and you're still actively involved in it?
Well, actually, I was not involved initially. We started it, I think the Nashville mayor had a ceremony for Vietnam veterans in Nashville, and locally one of the deans decided he wanted to try to do that here. And so that's what started it, and we invited veterans, all veterans, to come, anyone that wanted to, and they did. And anyway, this ceremony started 43 years ago, and basically it involves veterans walking across the field and the people in the stands celebrating. But it's been a really good, really wonderful deal. And now that we have the Charlie Daniels Center,
talk about that too. This is the 10th annual Charlie Daniels Center celebration coming.
Yes, they're having it right now over at the Keithley Auditorium on campus. And anyway, the Charlie Daniels himself and his wife, his lovely wife, gave them some money to start, and then Dr. McPhee had hired a retired Army general, General Huber, to come help with all of this. And I know they went around to several schools to look at what they had, probably Arizona State and other schools. And then they've built the Charlie Daniels Center here on campus. And it's really a phenomenal thing. Years ago, the VA volunteered a full-time, the VA hospital here volunteered a full-time employee to have to work on campus with veterans. And when I came back from service in '73, we had a full-time lady in the admissions department, and all she did was file reports and do what she could to help veterans. It was really a nice thing for the veterans. But anyway, they got together on this Charlie Daniels Center, and it's basically in the ground floor of the Keithley building, and there's a set of doors that have American flags with American flag flying next to it on the bottom floor that people can walk into and go right into the Charlie Daniels Center. They started this and pulled it together. It's in where the mailbox area is on that bottom floor, and they're presently taking out some of those mailboxes, and they're going to enlarge the bottom floor of the Daniels Center, which is right behind the mailbox area. We had the.
And what does the center provide for vets?
Let me make one point very clear. First of all, you do not have to be a student to use the Charlie Daniels Center. Any veteran in Murfreesboro or anywhere else that wants to come by and walk in, they're invited to do that. They have various people in the center now. They do the GI Bill processing to get your money for the school, residency or prior learning assessment evaluations. They have a strong veteran representative, which is part of the VA program. Employment, if you need to get a job, they try to help you get a job. They got mental health counseling, vet success counseling, VA beneficial counseling, and disability and access. So they have all those programs available, and if you just don't know what to do, you can just walk in and say, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where, and there'll be somebody there that can guide you, either do it on spot or set up an appointment for you, and this is there. And our Charlie Daniels Center is one of the finest in the country, if not the finest now, and it's thanks to Dr. McPhee and Dr. General Huber and so on.
So again, to any vet that's out there listening, you don't have to be a student. You just have to be a vet, and you have all these benefits over there that you can walk in, get the help that you need, and they're going to walk you through it. And again, it's right here on Middle Tennessee's campus in the ground floor of the Keithley Center. Someone will help you. You walk on that campus, it's a friendly campus. People will help direct you to get there. Again, you don't have to be a student. We want to make that really clear, because Charlie Daniels and his wife and Dr. McPhee want to help vets. So again, any veteran, if you need help, get on Middle's campus and they'll help you. And again, Bud, it's again, I don't think we really realize sometimes all the things that Middle Tennessee State University does in our community. I didn't know that until you and I were talking off air. Yeah. And again, it's an unbelievable thing. And again, they're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Charlie Daniels Center. Bud, we're going to talk a little bit about the game day.
Okay.
You have the thing here, so let's kind of go over it. The schedule of events, the 9:30 Veterans Memorial Service. Where does that start, and where do they hold that at?
Right now, we have some minor problems. They're doing a lot of construction on campus, and over where the statue is, or the memorial is, for former Middle Tennessee University veterans. People can buy stones for the area, but the memorial is set up for Middle Tennessee students who died in various wars, and it goes back to 1911 to World War I. There's some names on the little thing, and we're one of the few public schools that has a military monument on campus in the country. That's not a very popular thing among education, so that's another kind of first that goes along with all of this center.
Where is that located at?
It's you can see it from the circle. You can go around the circle on campus, and it has a bunch of flags flying over it. It's by the original cafeteria on campus, and I think it's Jones Hall is being reconstructed right now. And once that's done, we'll move all of our ceremonies back over there to that area. But for this purpose, coming up Saturday, we'll be over in the Grove, in the Loop, if you will, on campus, and we'll have it's open to all veterans, free food, free tickets to the game, and also we have the Nunley Award. Now, the Nunley Award, Dr. Joe Nunley wore many hats when he was here at the university, but one of them was alumni head. And when they did the ceremony in Nashville, as I said something earlier about it, he decided he wanted to do something on campus, and talked to several people, and in that process started the Salute to Veterans. Out of that also came the Nunley Award, and the Nunley Award has been given to various people up until about 6 years ago. It was all World War II veterans, but since that time it's been opened up to any veteran on campus, and I've been lucky enough to be inducted for whatever reason. But a lot of nice people have been involved in that. So,
you underestimate yourself, my friend. So, again, 9:30, Veterans Memorial Service. 11:15 starts that picnic, and it's going to be in the Grove.
In the walk on the Grove.
And you can stop by and say hello to us at the First Shot tent. We'll be out there.
Good.
With the dance and cheerleading team. So, come on by and say hello to us, too. Bud, you again, we can't overemphasize this. You do not have to be a student or former student to come out to the game.
Exactly.
We want to honor you. Any veteran in the area hearing this voice, if you know a veteran, tell them it's a free ticket, it's lunch.
Free lunch, yeah.
And you know, you're going to get to hear the band, which I think is unbelievable, that the Raider walk and watch the cheerleaders and the dance team dance, and then kick off at 2 o'clock at FIU.
Yeah.
So, Bud, you also off air talked about our mascot. And I was here when you did that, and I told you off air, I was kind of made fun of the process to come up with the mobile horse, Pegasus, right?
The Pegasus horse, yes, sir.
And we're going to take a break and be right back, but you're going to tell us the inside story on how we came up with a flying horse.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Sign-ups are going on right now for First Shot's Winter Basketball League in Rutherford County. Coach Andy Herzer guides kids to sharpen basketball skills and build teamwork through exciting clinics and games. Since 2003, First Shot has empowered youth to grow in mind, spirit, and body. Don't miss out. Join the fun and develop lifelong skills. Visit FirstShotTN.org today and register for the Winter Basketball League. That's FirstShotTN.org.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
Come tour Adams Place and discover living a dream in your senior years.
You don't have to go out and mow the yard. You don't have to rake the leaves. You don't have to wash the car. You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
You do not have the responsibility of your house, worrying about getting shrubbery trimmed, getting a new roof, paying your taxes. All of that is behind you.
This is Terry Deal. Come tour Adams Place and discover living a dream in your senior years. On Memorial across from Walmart.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by Old National Bank, the law offices of John Day, and AmeriCare Pest Control.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Now, WGNS Good Neighbor Events. West Side Story opens this weekend at the Center for the Arts in Uptown Murfreesboro. And over at the Arts Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury, this Saturday afternoon at 2 is the final performance of The Phantom Toll Booth. The kids will love it. 2 o'clock this Saturday afternoon. Phone the Arts Center of Cannon County for more information. The Arts Center of Cannon County is at 1424 John Bragg Highway in neighboring Woodbury. And here's more big news. The Rutherford County Farmers Market continues through fall and winter, all the way up until May. It's the new Fall and Winter Farmers Market, still at the Lane Agri-Park. It's only on Friday mornings, though, opening at 7 a.m. until noon. That's going on now through April. Don't throw away Old Glory. Bring your tattered American flag to WGNS. And let the girls from BSA Troop 2019 at Trinity United Methodist Church retire it with dignity. Plus, we also recycle Bibles. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor Events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here for this afternoon with a high into the lower 60s. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 36. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center.
Currently, it's 45.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE serves members with more than just electricity. Their community outreach team works with schools, parents, and students to provide engaging and unique learning experiences. MTE serving to make life better since 1936.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive director of First Shot, and here's my shameless plug. You can go to firstshottn.org, sign up for our 20th season of our Winter League. It's for boys and girls ages 5 through 14. Again, it's for boys and girls ages 5 to 14. Registration is open at First.
I've been helping people from Murfreesboro for over.
Again, I welcome back in a really good friend, Bud Morris. And Bud, we were talking about the behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
So kind of walk through what that process looked like and how the committee was formed, who, and all of it.
And you're talking about the mascot,
yeah, the mascot,
and the colors,
and the colors. Yeah.
Dr. Walker put a committee together, and honestly, it's been 20 years ago, or it's more than that, probably 30 years ago.
30, because it was in our first year, bud.
Okay.
TSU game.
Yeah.
Unveiled, packed house, and down came Pegasus.
The mascot. We were on that committee for 2 years. And during that process, Dr. Walker was very interested in colors showing up on television. Of course, the mascot, and we had not had a truly official mascot since the 60s. And at that point, they did away with the somewhat Confederate figure and went to other figures at the time. I think Eleanor Ayres and Miss Hardison helped invent the blue dog, and that was a takeoff, I think, from UT, and that was the unofficial mascot for a long time. But anyway, during this 2-year situation we had, among other things, we changed the colors from navy blue and white to a more appealing or more colorful color on color television for the school, and it's more of a I don't know what dark. It's not as dark as navy, and it's more appealing blue. But as far as the mascot is concerned, we used the same company as the Titans franchise used in Nashville to come up with the Titans name and the Titans colors and whatnot. But anyway, we had worked on this, and finally late in the progress, they came up with the flying horse, the Pegasus horse. And what that goes back to, the school was formed in 1911. It was a 2-year school. It was a teacher's college at that time. And about 1914, they made it a 4-year school and started adding additional programs. And one of the first programs they added, if not the first, was agriculture, because this area was all farms and dairy farms, whatever. And we had the walking horse celebration over in Shelbyville. And so, anyway, the walking horse, the agriculture department became the first, or one of the first programs they added on. Also, Miller Lanier in around 1950 or slightly before, after World War II, started the aviation program by requesting from the federal government for them to give us their supplies that are left over from the World War II aviation program that the Army Air Corps had in Middle Tennessee. The process of these two came together, the aviation program, the agricultural department program, to form a flying horse. And so the Pegasus horse came out of a flying aviation program and the agricultural department, which was the first one here on campus.
So even in the 30 years, the mascot has evolved.
Yes.
Right now to not the flying horse in the costume, but it is still part of the official logo.
A technical logo.
Technical logo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The colors, in today's age, you have the black out, the white out, helmets change.
Yeah.
Everything kind of changes, but the royal blue and gray is the main colors.
Yes, sir.
Technical.
Technically speaking, that's where we are right now. And again, it was for the purpose of television that the Navy just didn't show up very well. It wasn't bright on television. Nobody remembered it per se. So I think the colors were actually decided upon by the one of the departments on campus as what the colors would actually be. But the lighter, the royal blue, showed up better on television, and that's why we went to it.
Well, again, you're not telling the whole story. Bud was the mole. he skipped part of it, but we'll leave that be. If you run into Bud Morris, ask how he was the mole for the whole project. I won't give it away. But Bud, we look back over the history of football and veterans and how it shaped Middle Tennessee and how football really shapes the landscape of college athletics.
Sure.
Take us back to when you started school here and in the 60s, what it was like, what was football like on a Saturday?
Well, it was exciting. People have to remember there wasn't as much to do as it is today. We didn't have the interstate to Nashville and all that kind of stuff, so we had the stadium was smaller. I think the stadium at the time held 6,000 or 7,000 football, and Murphy Center was built in 1972, I believe, and it held 11,000 originally. And they're getting ready to cut some of that out now to do some changing and upgrade to the university, to the Murphy Center. But anyway, it was the only thing to do on Saturday, and I and many of our friends. I mean, if you were on campus, you went to the game if there was a game. Basketball, football, track, baseball, it didn't matter. You did go to those events. But we had a huge rivalry with Austin Peay, Tennessee Tech, and Western Kentucky. And speaking back in those days, there were a lot of altercations, shall we say, between the students of the various schools. I don't remember ever going to Western Kentucky, and we went. I mean, if we had a home game, obviously we went to the home game, but also either a football or basketball game at Western Kentucky every year. We'd a bunch of us get a bus and we'd go up there, but we always had an altercation with the students of the other school, and most of the time, thank goodness, the police were there. And they were able to stop it before it really started. But I saw some very interesting things here. One time there was a student that came down through a car row, went behind the stadium, and broke out the windshield of about 20 cars with a chain. I'll never forget that. And the police caught him, of course, and took him on. And we had the great fight of 1965 at Austin Peay, and I'll never forget that. I was there with Newt Malloy, and we had gone up, and we had coats and ties on back in the day, and that was the game that Teddy Morris came back, and in the second half, and we were down, I think, 2 touchdowns, and we scored 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to win the ball game. And the last drive, we actually had the ball on our 1-yard line and went 99 yards for a touchdown. After the game, the players kind of got in a little push and shoving match. And when they did, the fans on both sides just poured over the rails at Austin Peay, and the field was covered with individuals. The football teams got off the field. But the fans went on to carry that fight on for, probably 30 minutes.
So it's just not what goes on today.
No.
It's been going on from the test of time, Bud, is what you're telling us?
I'm telling you that there were a lot of
Our young
events.
college people acted silly?
Acting silly. There's no doubt about it. But anyway, and on that deal, I'll never forget, I was with Newt Malloy, as I said, and I got up and started taking my coat off and my tie off. And Newton Ford said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm taking my coat off. I'm going to go down and get in a fight. And he said, that's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. Sit down. And so I didn't get in that fight, thank goodness. But anyway, yeah, there were, and Austin Peay, Western Kentucky was the same way. We had the fights. Most of them called off, thank goodness, with them. And then Tennessee Tech, they were no friends of ours by any stretch of the imagination. And, of course, we had the statue that we swapped back and forth for years, and now it's in the Hall of Fame. So we don't do that anymore. But it could be pretty wild.
Yeah, the what is lost, I think, with the new air in college sports is certain rivalries have been thwarted because of 1A football.
Yes, the distance of being in the conference we're in and not having a school close, we seem to be, and I guess we are, kind of joined at the hip with Western Kentucky. So about anything they would do or we would do, the other school probably will do. So if we, at some point, if we ever try to get out of Conference USA or form a new conference or whatever that might be, I would think that Western Kentucky and Middle, through the 100 miles of discontent between us, would go together on that.
So as much as we don't like the school up north and us have to rely on each other.
Have to rely, yes, sir. That's my understanding, and so it's a great start. Of course, Western Kentucky has some great programs, and always has had. So it's been a great rivalry. It sure has.
Bud, you look back over the history of you traveling. All right, you and Bob Lamb and a couple other guys have gone to almost nearly every stadium that we have been associated with.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so, greatest places that you've seen a football game.
Wow.
What that you liked, the stadium, the crowd, the
right.
The excitement tied around it.
Really, two that come to mind. Florida State has an unbelievable heritage of Indian background. The people, so many people of Indian descent, American Indian descent, went down into the swamps of Florida and whatever and lived down there and formed that. But Florida State, they before the game, they get all the teams off the field, and they bring the Indian onto the field. And then he walks off the field, and then he gets on his horse, and they bring the Indian and the horse on the field to the 50-yard. He races up and down the field, and rears his horse up right at the 50-yard line, takes his spear, and buries it into the turf. And the PA announcer says, "Let the war begin." And that, to me, that was one of the greatest places. We've also been to, Missouri, and so many other places. But I like the Florida State sticks out. Now, Louisiana Tech also sticks out. Louisiana Tech, the fans down there could not be any nicer. We pulled up on the many occasions we were down there and would stop and they'd say, "Come on over, have something to eat, have a beer or whatever." But now when we go in the stadium, you're not going to sit with us. And we'll come out at halftime, we'll have another beer. You can come out here and have a beer with us. We go back in, you're not going to sit with us. After the game, we're going to cook some more. You can have supper and have another beer with us. But they were always like that, and they couldn't have been more friendly except for the game. But during the game, you didn't want to sit with them because they were screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and whatnot. So,
all right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Bud Morris.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Think the customers know I raise these eggs myself?
They do now. That hen's been louder than your radio. 50 years of local flavor. The Farmers Market, Tuesday and Friday, 7 to 1.
Only at a producer-only market can you meet the hens behind the eggs.
Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro.
We're visiting with Jennifer Sanchez, manager of Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift at 1007 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
You're not just walking into just a big warehouse. You're walking into rooms. We've got a media room, we've got a boutique room, we've got a vintage room, a furniture area, kitchen, all that.
Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift.
Every day you go in there, I promise you it's changing.
Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift, 1007 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Online at steeredstraightthriftstore.org.
I've been helping people from Murfreesboro for over 30 years and spent a lot of time there over the years.
We love Murfreesboro. We have lots of friends down there. We've partnered with Middle Tennessee State.
And we found more and more people asking for our services, and at some point it just made sense to open up an office there for the convenience of the citizens of the community and the surrounding areas.
We wanted to actually physically be present there and not just going there a lot.
From driveways to highways, SRM Concrete has the right mix, on time, every time. Locally grown, nationally known, family owned and operated, SRM is the name you trust. SRM Concrete, you call, we haul.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive director of First Shot Foundation. Again, I welcome in one of my true friends here in town. One of the reasons I stayed was the people of Murfreesboro. And Bud, you and Bob Lamb, Chipper, and all of you guys that were such great friends to me. Again, I can't thank you enough. Again, I love being in Murfreesboro because of people like you.
Well, Andy, you're very kind, and your First Shot, I can't tell you what a great program I personally think that is. It helps young people. It gets them together with friends. It gets them out of their homes, gets them in an environment where they can enjoy themselves, and I really think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
So again, 43rd annual Salute to Veterans, the longest running anywhere in the country. Again, it's just an unbelievable sight. Bud, we're going to emphasize, you do not have to be a student or former student to come and enjoy the festivities that start at 9:30 with a Veterans Memorial Service. Then you're going to have the Nunley Award given out.
Yes, sir.
And then at 11:15, the pregame picnic. You'll be able to, just before that, see the Raider Walk, which is really cool. At 11:45, then the stadium opens at 12:30, and at halftime.
At halftime.
Tell us what happens.
All veterans, again, are invited of any branch of service, and we gather together on the field at halftime, and we walk across the field to the music of our various branches. And now we're including the Space Corps with that, so they have their own group, which are, for the most part, just students right now, primarily, I think, out of Tennessee State, as far as that goes. But anyway, it's a wonderful thing. I didn't do it for the first few years. When I came back from service, I still had some, problems with service in Vietnam and all that kind of thing. But I finally did, and the first time I walked across the field, I cried. And I'll never forget that. And I've not missed one since. So I've been about a 40-year guy, as a 43. But it's really a wonderful experience for veterans. Again, as Andy said, you don't have to be a student. And getting back to the Charlie Daniels Center for a second, I want to again emphasize you do not have to be a student, past or present, to use the Charlie Daniels Center. It is there for all veterans. It is located in the Keithley building. On the bottom floor, it's the old mailbox or post office there on campus at the old student union. And but the Charlie Daniels Center, and again, thanks to quite a few sizable donations by Charlie Daniels and his lovely wife, we're able to have it. It's one of the finest facilities in the country. There's no facility in the country that has more than we do.
What are the benefits? What are some of the things that they will help our veterans with?
Well, and this I think is wonderful. There are people located at the Charlie Daniels Center that will help you get your GI Bill going, get money for that, which would pay for college in some parts. Also, they have help getting a residence, a place to live. They have a place for employment to try to get a job, going to school or whatnot. They have mental health counseling there. They have vet success counseling there as far as getting a long-term job or whatever. We have your VA benefits, not the GI Bill, but your VA benefits that you can get from being disabled. And a lot of veterans, one way or another, I have several things for hearing, and I've had several cancers that are related back to Agent Orange in Vietnam and that kind of thing. And that's had a big impact. But they have the VA benefits gentleman there. They have two of them. And also disability and access to whatever the VA hospital, the VA services provide. So if we don't have it right there, we have access to get you in the right place. And again, thanks to Andy, I do want to emphasize you do not have to be a student. Anyone that's a veteran can go to this facility and get help.
Yeah, and it's so important that we spread the word. So if you know someone that's military that needs help, they can get to Middle Tennessee State University, the Keithley Center, go to the ground floor, and again, Charlie Daniels Center is open to help. And so let's make sure everybody knows what a great service this is in our community. Last thing, 43 years.
Yes,
Bud.
43 years, yes, sir.
You know, you start thinking about things that have longevity. And what, to me, you know, my dad was a World War II vet, never talked about it.
Yeah.
You know, he was there. Mm-hmm. And then he was stationed in occupied Germany, but never talked about it with us. I wish I would have asked more.
I know what you mean. I'm the same way. I knew several veterans when I was a young child here. Colonel Cawthon was evidently from Murfreesboro, and he was idolized by my mother and other people here in town. But every time he would come to town, they would all have a tea party for him or whatever. And he actually gave me a helmet from World War II, and first one thing and another. But was a wonderful person. But that kind of tells you again about the Murfreesboro area and how supportive we've been. I think during World War II they had a lot of ground operations here in town and a lot of mechanized because the Middle Tennessee terrain was very similar to the European terrain, rolling hills and whatnot. And so they had quite a few operations during World War II around Tullahoma and over here in Murfreesboro and whatnot.
Bud, you look back at Murfreesboro and its embrace, the veterans, and really the military. What made the ROTC on our campus so special? Because it's one of the best in the country.
It is one of the best in the country. It's amazing. And that's a hard question to answer. Again, I go back to just the history of Tennessee and the people in this region. All land-grant colleges have to have some form of military program. But in Tennessee, that's only UT in Knoxville and Tennessee State and Nashville are the only two land-grant colleges. And so they have to have a program, but Tennessee Tech has a program. Middle Tennessee has always had a program. And again, going back to World War II, the Army Air Corps had a pilot aviation program here on campus, and the runways were made out of cinder. I'll just never forget that. When I was a freshman in college, we formed up in ROTC. We had to take 2 years of ROTC if you weren't physically hurt. And anyway, so we had a fairly large student body participation in that.
All male when you went?
All male. We had female sponsors. We called them ROTC sponsors, but it was all male cadre corps, or cadre, the ROTC department and the instructors there, and then also the students were all male.
Give us a story when you're in school in ROTC that you'll never forget. You had to have something.
Yes, I do. Colonel Tucker, who was then Captain turned Major Tucker, and Colonel Dismukes, who married Karen Elrod, the Elrod family here in Murfreesboro. But anyway, they were my primary instructors for all 4 years that I took ROTC. And they had us do the PT test 2 or 3 times a week. And we hated it. We absolutely hated it. It turned out that many other programs across the country at other schools, they only did the PT test 1 time in their whole 4 years. So as it turned out, when we went on active duty, we could excel in the PT test because we'd had the darn thing memorized 3 times a week. And of course, we used to go to Cedars of Lebanon on a very regular basis to do a compass course. So they'd put us out somewhere at Cedars, Lebanon, and we walked through the woods over there and hopefully come out where we were supposed to come out. And that wasn't always the case. But anyway, we had a lot of training on doing that. But they, so I would say the most memorable thing would be then Captain Tucker, then Captain Dismukes, and their, and I might say something else. General Ogg, his father was here on the cadre, and he was Captain Ogg, and he was a peacemaker. He was the one you could go to and just vent your frustrations of, I can't do the PT test today. I've got to go to work. They're trying to make me stay here, and Captain Ogg was very much the peacemaker in the ROTC department, and of course his son General Ogg is retired here in Murfreesboro. So anyway.
So it's amazing your eyes light up when you have memories.
Yes, sir.
There's if someone asks me, about what coach affected you most, my eyes light up, right? So it's the same. Who from what you would call now the non-Fs, whatever it is, the Delaware and Missouri are coming out of, used to be 1AA.
You're right.
To 1A. What was the hardest thing you think Middle had to go through?
Well,
from being 1AA to 1A.
And you brought it out recently, and I have some stories that Andy McCullum was a dear friend of mine during that era, and he was the first Division 1A coach. But anyway, the distance, we went from being able to drive to Cookeville, to Clarksville, to Bowling Green, to Richmond for Eastern Kentucky. We went from having very drivable opponents to having teams that you had to fly to go to, Florida International, Florida Atlantic, etc. down there, Texas El Paso, San Antonio. And so our change from 1AA to 1A really killed a lot of the enthusiasm that fans had, because so many people could drive to the local contest as opposed to flying to wherever they had to go, to New Mexico State, etc.
Well, Bud, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. Salute to veterans, 43rd year. Do not have to ever have attended Middle. Come out, enjoy your time, and be honored.
And
that you so richly and greatly deserve, and we thank you in advance.
Absolutely.